By this time in our journey, we were no strangers to Guatemala. We had come and gone more than once, always finding ourselves where the mountains meet the sky. But Guatemala didn't rush to reveal itself. It spoke in layers, in the clouds of its forests, in the folds of embroidered fabric, in the chipped paint of colonial walls, in the breathtaking and life-giving landscapes. It spoke in the unspoken, in silence held without needing to be filled. The Mayan murmurs beneath Spanish greetings, the constant rumble of thunder and volcano. Here, the past doesn't sleep. It breathes beneath the ceiba trees. This was the heartland of the Maya, a place where time was charted in stone and stars, where giant cities rose from jungle floors. So here we were, again returning, forever changed.
So we're back at the Guatemala side. How did it go?
There's always something. Tim told me this one is from Guatemala. Guatemala don't pay. Oh merde!
The same kid that assisted last time and took Genevieve on the motorcycle is the same kid that helped this time.
The kid grew up.
The kid did grow up. All right.
With some complications, we entered Guatemala later than expected. Of the many reasons not to drive at night in Guatemala, visibility on poorly lit roads comes high up the list.
All right, so we just ran the car into a ditch and now we have a flat tire.
We have arrived here, returned here after almost a year, but now we are trying to find ourselves a bit more nature and silence, because right here it's sort of isolated in nature, but at once we're in the city, we're in town. So we are going to our room. Pretty, it's very pretty. This is our room.
Though our hotel was comfortable and familiar, we wanted to find something closer to nature.
And this is our next house. It's a very open house, so we hope it will be okay with the insect. And this is our bathroom. So this is our house for at least the next week. And our next door neighbor, right here. And oh my God, we have hummingbirds. Oh my goodness. And here we have arrived.
We were a bit worried yesterday when we checked the place out because mosquitoes can get through. But when we arrived today,
we have a mosquito net. What is it you're doing?
I'm injuring myself.
It's funny, the position you have with the next painting next to you.
Oh yeah?
Installing our hammock in our new home. Well, it looks like we get the hammock settled. So yes, the first day looks like we're really in a place closer to what I wanted, you know, it's simpler. Nice, but simpler. Now we heard the howling monkeys, so it's like we're really in nature. It's the jungle. It is. We placed our drying line tonight. And this is our new home, our new kitchen, our new studio. I think this is the most humble home we had, and also maybe the most local we had.
It would take a little getting used to, but I was up for the challenge.
Goodbye. See you.
The comfort of our new home was not in luxury. It was in presence. In more than one way, this little shack mirrored the path we were on. A path that asked us to adapt, to loosen our grip on control, where the lines between shelter and exposure could blur.
We hear the howler monkeys.
The howlers weren't just passing through. The trees above our cabin were a part of their world. We soon learned we were nestled between two rival clans. Their vocal negotiations could erupt at any time, day or night. Their howls echoed into something primal and raw. They moved unapologetically, sometimes flailing around like toddlers in a tantrum. Some eating fruit like small gods in the treetops, barely noticing us below. There was something strangely grounding about their presence, though. They reminded me that we weren't just living beside nature, we were living within it. And nature was very much awake. Remate holds a strange weight in our story. It is a small town of roughly 2,000 inhabitants, located on the eastern tip of Lake Petén. It is known as the last stop before Tikal National Park. For this reason, its economy is based on tourism, which has been heavily affected since the pandemic. The first time we passed through was almost exactly a year before, in September of 2022. Our stay was intense. We were trying to fit Tikal and other Mayan sites, a Belizean border crossing to renew our visa, and a departure to Puerto Rico. Of course, none of it went as planned. Tikal itself was breathtaking, but it was also one of those moments where beauty alone can't soften the edges of everything else that goes wrong. We had to fight our way in with Zill, navigating an immense amount of bureaucracy and stress. Yasha, stunning and serene, was cut short by an incoming hurricane.
I still find great irony in the fact that we've only had 3 flat tires in this entire journey, and 2 of them come from this exact location. One while trying to exit Guatemala in 2022, and again while entering, almost exactly a year later. This time, the tire was not salvageable, so we had to drive all the way to the city of Flores to replace the tire with a new one.
A new view of our home on the road.
In ancient times, the island of Flores was known as Lake Petén, or Tayasal, and was the last Mayan holdout to fall to the Spanish in 1697. Today, Flores is the largest city in the Petén region, and is known as the gateway to Tikal, largely because of its ability to receive more than 300,000 visitors each year. Once our tire situation was resolved, we were eager to get back to our new haven on the lake.
For the first few days, we didn't interact much with our host. The property belonged to a sweet woman named Vilma and her husband Victor. Victor was usually gone, farming from early morning until evening. And Vilma was an extremely busy woman, keeping up with the maintenance of the property, the running of the restaurant, the upkeep of the guest house, constant trips into town on her buggy, and taking care of her grandson Matthias. From our observations, she was a Wonder Woman. Always kind and hospitable, she kept to herself most of the time. But we could sense the mutual curiosity, the contrast of cultures. For us, she was a constant source of entertainment, just watching this tiny woman do it all.
Just a little something, a little ceremony for Monica. Since we got back in Guatemala, and Monica passed away a few days ago. You could swim here. The water feels so good. It's just perfectly warm to enter without raising a brow. And so I want to dedicate this first swim to Monica.
I met Monica our first time in Guatemala. She was volunteering as a student nurse at the House of Healing by Lake Petén Itzá. Her compassion and humor stayed with me.
The abrupt news of Monica passing away came a few days ago, and it was quite a shock. Really great woman, very sensitive, full of heart.
Today we're going on a little adventure to a small Mayan site.
The battery has been starting showing signs of failure for every day since we got in Guatemala, pretty much, since we got here.
I'd read some research papers about a hidden Mayan site nearby called San Clemente. I spent a couple days narrowing down its approximate location, so we set off to go find it. When we arrived in the general area, there seemed to be nothing, just miles of dirt roads surrounded by farmland. And after spending the entire morning searching, we eventually arrived at a small town on a lake. In this location, still a phantom on Google Maps, with no road, stream, or even village indicated, we found a lake littered with plastic and trash. Over the years, I've developed a habit of framing my images in a manner that conveniently hides the truth of such undesirable details. But it was at this lake that a thought first occurred to me, that I will eventually need to accept the beauty for what it is, trash included, and just live the authenticity of the moment, rather than the expectation of what it should be.
When we got back in the car, our focus shifted once again to finding this elusive Mayan site. So we asked a couple locals on our way out of the village, but no one knew. There was only one road in and out to access this lakeside village. So we knew if the research papers were correct, it would be out there somewhere. About 15 minutes down the dirt road, we saw a man walking, so we offered him a ride. As the man got in the car, he said, "I work in the field, I'm not dangerous." It seemed like an odd thing to say at the moment, but we continued nonetheless. He had no knowledge of any Mayan site in the area, but offered to ask at a roadside tienda about 10 minutes down the road. One man left on his motorcycle to ask around, and soon 3 young men arrived and offered to take us to the site, claiming they knew where it was. Danny decided to part ways at this intersection. And for us, things started to feel strange. Hesitantly, we followed the motorcycle down another dirt road. Some of the most incredible moments and connections of this journey have come from trusting in people, believing in a path and a purpose, and not judging situations too early. Without fail, when we look beyond our fears, we are led to the most magnificent of experiences. But this time, something felt different for both of us. And we immediately chose to trust our intuitions.
Undeterred, we regrouped and settled for another Mayan site a couple hours away called La Blanca. We could see the name on the map, but there was no indication on how to get there. So again, we asked some locals to point us in the right direction. And luckily, this site seemed to be a little more well-known. Miles and miles down another dirt road we went, until eventually we were surprised to see a large settlement named Aldea La Blanca. The town was cute, surrounded by nature, and the people seemed really friendly. They dressed in typical clothing and cast curious gazes from their doorsteps as we passed. Before we knew it, we had arrived at the archaeological site, and the guardian, who we will call Tom, came out to greet us.
He informed us that it was free to enter, but requested to show us around. He insisted that it wasn't a tour, that he was bored because the site doesn't see tourists. Though we were hoping for solitude, we agreed to walk the grounds with the men. And almost immediately, we hit a swarm of mosquitoes. But luckily, my shorts had detachable pant legs. I decided to zip them on.
Okay, I need to put my legs, it's full of mosquitoes.
Tom remarked that he had never seen this before, commenting that it must be expensive. A few structures later, he inquired about the cost of our filming equipment.
He wasn't particularly knowledgeable about the history or context of the ancient city, but he seemed to genuinely enjoy being the guardian of such a remarkable site.
Are you impressed?
Yeah, I mean, it's nice to see so much not restored, but it's also kind of scary. Like, it's like talcum powder, like just dust. I mean, the final stages were like 900 AD, so it's like still 1,000 years old, but for it to be in this condition is pretty impressive. As we walked the grounds, we explained our journey to him, one of health and healing. And of course, I explained about Zill being a service animal, which is kind of a strange concept for most Latin Americans. When he asked how expensive Zill was, I was worried that all of these comments and questions were adding up to an assessment of our wealth. And when we returned to the entrance, we gave him what we thought to be an appropriate tip, about $10. He quickly glanced down at the money in his hand, smirked, and said, "Great, now I can buy a refreshment." Genevieve and I smiled, thanked him, and hit the road. It's like, we just went through the book of the 4 agreements again, and it's like, at the end of that we also made assumptions. By the end of that experience, it really hinged on this guy's one phrasing of like, oh, yeah, now I can go buy a refreshment with this money. Or it could be that this guy loved having the job at that location for the last 8 years, and there's no guests that come by, and he honestly was bored and wanted to just show us the treasure that he had, and then by the end he was actually grateful that, hey, now I did what I love and I can go buy a drink. And so if I'm just trying to be more observant of where my own emotions are, and the whole thing of like, at the end of the day, it doesn't really matter. We had an experience, and that's it.
I am swimming in Lake Petén, Guatemala. And it's nice, the water.
Zill. Oh, yeah, come on. Let's go. Zill, come on. Yeah. Zill is quite a character when it comes to water.
Come on. Come here, boy. Come on.
I adopted him in 2016 in the state of Washington.
He doesn't know it yet, but this is gonna be his first bath. Not very excited about it.
And even then, it was a chore getting him to take a bath. But he always enjoys drying off.
Good boy. Zill, let's go, man.
Since that first day, Zill has done everything it takes to avoid getting wet.
Let's go. Come on.
Oh my God. He's just struggling with the element of fog.
Genevieve and I have both tried many times during this journey to teach Zill how to swim.
Don't tell me he knows how to swim. He's panicking. Oh boy.
The closest we got was a shallow river crossing in Utah, and at the time, we called it a success.
You chicken, man. You so chicken.
At Lake Petén, we figured we would try again.
That's it. Here we go.
See?
But our first attempts weren't very successful. I didn't know it then, but Zill wasn't the only one overcoming fears of the water.
We got you, dude. And what's this lake famous for?
Ah, dang it, I forgot.
It's freshwater crocodiles.
Oh, damn it, really, Glenn? I keep saying I'm scared of the water, what's in the water. I don't touch the bottom, I'm scared of the bottom and of what's in the water, everything. He's eating a frog. No lo puedo ver.
¿Conoces qué tipo?
Aquí le llaman bejuquillo.
¿Bejuquillo?
Es una verde.
Y la rana es no es tan pequeña.
Es grande.
Oh, you're in heaven right now, huh?
It's pretty well. As soon as I got him and the frog down, as soon as he let go of the frog, he straight into these bushes, and I managed to grab the back of his tail.
All right, so what are you going to do with that?
Well, I was going to put him in there, but he's so fast. He's really, really fast. And he's strong.
Vilma's son, Edgar, assisted us in finding a new home for this critter, far from the cabana.
Harmless to humans, this parrot snake is easily confused with the venomous vine snake. We heard a story of a local family that amputated a young boy's arm because he was bitten by one of these snakes. Only later to learn at the hospital that the bite was harmless to the child.
Oh, we should be really careful.
They probably want to stay away from people.
Yeah.
Did you ever see one?
Ah, yes.
The Petén region is home to a variety of wildlife. It is one of the few places on Earth where you can see freshwater crocodiles.
They normally come to here to have the babies, and then they return to the lake.
The Morlet's crocodile typically reaches 10 feet in length. Luckily, they're scared of humans and don't present a direct threat.
By the top, it's a little protected area by the lake. I have a couple bags of trash. Since the last time I came, it was quite disgusting. So we need to throw that away very quickly. All right.
Years ago, in Israel, I watched my friend Debbie pull a bag from her pocket and nonchalantly fill it with trash as we walked on the beach. No lesson, no judgment, just doing it. That moment would stay with me. I picked up a bag half buried in the sand and knew the cycle would carry on. One bag at a time.
Usted ya conoce el Ramon.
¿El qué?
El Ramon.
¿Ramón? Ah, lo vimos el polvo en la tienda, en tienda Nelly.
Ajá, muy bueno para el cuerpo.
A verdad.
Proteínas y todo.
Ah, me voy a probar entonces. It is that the Ramon that we got cookies and a mix to drink. It does a lot of things. So it's a drink. You can make cookies. The flour, you can make bread with it. And they are saying that it's very, very nutritional. The Mayan nuts or the seeds of Ramon is known also as ojite, masica, ojoche, moju, ujuste, shoshte, or ishimche. Can reach up to 45 meters high and a meter in diameter. So the vitamins are B2, B6, C and E, iron, fiber, and protein. And now look, you can make bread, soup, gnocchi. Ooh, that must be so good. Cannelloni, pizza, spaghetti. That's what we want, pancake.
Guatemalan cuisine is a unique blend of Mayan and Spanish flavors. And Vilma is well known in the area for her delicious home-cooked meals.
Calabaza, pumpkin. Come on, there's ginger. It looks beautiful. I don't know how she makes it, but it's really good.
On a couple occasions, we challenged her baking skills with Ramon flour, just to satisfy our new curiosity of the superfood.
Gracias, Vilma!
Ultimately, we are all creatures of habit. And even on the road, we usually resort to the recipes and flavors that are familiar, the ones we grew up with, and bring a sense of home. We usually share the cooking duties throughout our travels.
Okay, today's salad is going to be avocados from the yard, tomatoes and basil from the garden upstairs,
But Glenn definitely took over as the salad master,
olives from Belize, and pepita from Yucatan.
introducing new local flavors with every stop along the way. Over time, our own eating habits became a mix of what was familiar, what was tried and true, and what was new and exciting.
For a while, there was a buzz about town of an upcoming solar eclipse, so we prepared ourselves to view and photograph the event from the doorstep of our cabana. I fashioned a makeshift pinhole camera so we could monitor its progress without blinding ourselves. Ancient Mayans used to view these eclipses through reflections in standing water and possibly through obsidian discs. The solar eclipse was the most feared event of the ancient world and represented a struggle between the sun and moon, day and night, good and evil. For a brief moment in time, on the rarest of occasions, darkness would prevail over light in its own realm.
What is this? They are so cute. I feel like I'm in Madagascar. They don't give a shit about us, huh?
The fall equinox in Guatemala, like everywhere in the northern hemisphere, marks the transition from summer to autumn, where daylight and darkness become equal. But because of Guatemala's tropical climate, this means it is a narrow window where it typically isn't too hot nor too rainy. The perfect conditions for wildlife to thrive.
I don't think I've ever seen something like that.
Plants take advantage of the good conditions as well, using the start of the rainy season to grow and blossom. In the cabana, we became host to an array of new guests. Most of which don't make very good roommates. So we gently usher them back outside. During this season, there was a cold current that swept through the lake, bringing new life and abundance. It was buzzing with activity. From the monkeys in the trees
Come on, friend.
to the dogs in the street.
Above your head, right here. Is it alive? Ginger butterfly.
We weren't even paying attention to the season. But Guatemala was definitely coming to life.
All right.
We went for a swim this morning, and when we got back, Vilma was trying to show us something in the yard. It's the first boa of our journey, and we were out swimming this morning, and he was trying to get into the chicken coop, and so they had to ¿Tienes el machete?
Ahorita lo tengo.
What are you gonna do?
I'm gonna chop his head.
Why?
He's still slightly alive. Did you see how beautiful they are?
Mm-hmm.
And at first I was really excited because I saw that it was a boa. Well, we're taking him to the cemetery. He's basically dead, but there's still brain activity. It's something I've looked forward to since I was a little kid, finding a boa in the wild.
We just got a little too late.
Yeah, literally moments too late. I had boas growing up when I was a teenager, and they're probably my favorite snake, but I never saw them in the wild. I had 2 boas when my mom died, and after she died, my dad decided to leave, and we packed up the house, and I don't even remember. I don't remember packing up the house, and I don't know what happened to the snakes. I remember that I had 3 large snakes. They were too big and they don't belong in the wild out there, and I remember I was panicking because I didn't know what to do with them. I convinced myself that they all 3 got sick, and they all died at one time, and it just so happened to be right around the time that my mom died, but I don't know, I don't have that memory. There's whole pieces of my life that are completely missing. I think it's also the fact that when we arrived, it wasn't completely dead. It still had life in its body, it's still moving. And so it's the hint of this incredible, beautiful thing that is on its way out. Now it's gone. I don't actually think life right now is much different than it was 1,000 or 2,000 years ago in this very same place. I bet there was a house right here. There were houses along the lake, and they all might have interacted with wildlife the same way. I think there's a lot of things that are different, but anyway, I'm ready to get to work.
Thank you.
Okay. Pues ese día yo venía y vengo yo y ellos están todos juntos para allá. Pero ellos están amontonados para allá. Cuando veo la gran serpiente que estaba ahí donde están los pollos.
¿Tenía miedo?
Pues sí, porque estaba grande.
All the chicken that were all mounted together in the corner. And she was like, what's going on? What's going on? And she didn't see at first the snake that was hidden with the with the wood. And then all of a sudden she was like, whoa! And she saw the whole thing, the whole face and everything.
Primero la boté al piso, después le metí el machete y le pegué en la cabeza. Y entonces ya se puso. Una vez teníamos tenía gallinal yo. Y mire, se me perdían las más grandes. Y cuando oigo un día el cao, el gallo, la culebra estaba con la boca abierta y como ellas tienen una electricidad.
She said that it comes with the mouth open and it has electricity. And the prey cannot get away. And right there was the snake that was that big, she said. The machete wouldn't do anything. We need to get out of here because I'm really burning.
Mm-hmm. We have heard many myths about snakes as we travel, but most originate from fear of the unknown. The Central American boa does not have electrical powers, but can certainly freeze its prey with fear.
Zill learned to swim, which is no small thing. Well, I've been trying to solve his anxiety for a little while, but right now it's a work in progress.
Come on, Salchicha Swimmer. Let's go.
Come here. Come on,
Let's go.
Zilu. I think you made your life a little bit more complicated than needed, but right there. Come on. That's good. Oh my goodness. Well, swim a little bit. Come on, come on, come on. Yes, swim. Here we go. Oh, that's really good. All right, you go. That's good.
Good job, buddy.
That's good.
Wow.
Oh my goodness. You got it. You got
Good
it.
job, buddy. Come here.
Come here.
After years of trying to get Zill to swim, or even get close to a body of water,
Come here, get your sausage. Here we go, buddy. That's so good. Oh my goodness, you know?
it turned out all we needed was hot dogs.
I didn't even call it. What is happening? Oh my God, what a day. I would think I would see Zill and some fish passing in front, never. They're right here, they're following him. Oh my gosh, Zill is swimming. Zill is swimming. This is like the news of the year. And he's lost weight. He's in a much healthier shape.
Zill, right here. Jumpy, come here. Come on. Zill, come on. Right here.
Zill is going into the water and going around the dock, which is a solid 2-3 minutes swim. It's amazing. I am so proud of you, Zilu. Oh my God, Zilu! Oh my goodness, you're so brave. We taught the dog to swim. Oh my goodness, Zilu! Zilu, you swimming? Come here. Are you a swimmer now? Are you a swimmer? Oh my goodness, you're a swimmer. You're being a great swimmer. Mm-hmm. ¿Cuándo llegaste aquí?
43 años. Antes de casarnos, él había comprado este terreno. A un principio yo no me casé con él, ¿verdad? Sino que él me robó.
¿Qué quiere decir que te robo?
Que no nos casamos, sino que como mi mamá no lo quería, me fui a escondidas con él. Tenía 18.
¿Y es la razón por qué tu mamá no quería?
Ella quería a otro.
Okay.
Ajá.
¿Tenía alguien en su mente?
Sí. Nos fuimos para Belice.
Qué historia.
Sí, ajá.
Y entonces tenía la tierra.
A él ya había comprado aquí.
The land was all the way until the cemetery right there.
Esto se terminó en febrero del 2020.
They built this and it was supposed to be finished in early, like in mid-2020. And then of course came COVID. They're going slowly because they have to pay back the bank at once as they are doing this.
En ese tiempo, como año y medio, nos pusimos una crianza de pescado, sembrar hortalizas.
Guatemala, like many countries around the world, was hit hard during COVID. Tikal and the region were shut down to all visitors. Vilma told us that tourism had not really returned since, and her dreams of expanding the guest house will have to wait. But Vilma is an optimistic and savvy woman and hopes to finish this project soon. As she showed us around the property, she shared stories about her life, her scattered family, and tumultuous upbringing. For the first time, I was seeing the real Vilma, vulnerable and fragile, yet solid and strong.
At one point, Victor was bringing water for her to wash here because she couldn't go with all the kids. This one, it's her first pila, and it went from there to here to there to closer to here.
A esta, ella tiene como 35 años.
Wow.
Ajá.
Fue un gran cambio. ¿Te recuerdas de la vida antes y después?
Ah, sí, pero yo, mire, yo tenía mis letrinas, le llaman aquí.
Ajá.
De esas que son cosas
Afuera.
como taza. Por ahí tenía una vieja. Estaba una vieja.
She's showing us how it was when she had the toilet outside.
Ahí está, mire.
Right here, wow.
Ahí donde, digamos, en ese es donde uno se sienta.
¿Es de donde nos sentamos?
Ajá.
Ok.
Sí, sí. Era mi cocina aquí. Era de fuego, de leña y todo. Pero no había, es que sale el humo arriba, sino que...
Entonces todo el humo fue adentro.
Ajá.
You can buy frijol and we can cook it here.
Yo le digo a las personas que a la hora que ellos quieran comer, solo me dicen y yo me levanto, porque aún los que van a Tikal, yo me he levantado a veces hasta a las 4 de la mañana a hacerles sus boblonche, hacerles café.
People can order before they go to Tikal and she will make their lunch and everything fresh, ready. She doesn't want them to have like something from before. She makes everything ready. It's nice.
This was such a treat for us, seeing Vilma in her element, as she showed us the abundance of life on the rooftop of the restaurant overlooking the lake. There, she grows fresh vegetables and herbs that share the space with the wildlife.
Oh, look at this bird in the bird.
There's a toucan over here.
Está todavía. Le puse en su lugar a ellos.
Glenn and I could both feel the beginning of a wonderful connection.
Muchísimas gracias.
Ya, ustedes también. Muchísimas gracias.
Just in time for the rain.
Very nice, this place, huh? Even the presence of a crocodile. Quite amazing how many of my fears I can identify are melting between swimming in waters that have a crocodile, and between that and yesterday holding a snake, and then the tarantula we approached, and we went to walk 5:30 to try to spot a crocodile. We didn't, but the waters are just so appealing to me. Yeah, I'm becoming a swimmer, Glenn. I'm becoming a swimmer. 2 weeks of almost 2 weeks of swimming every day. I swim in a lake that has crocodiles. I am swimming in the same waters as crocodiles. And I swim, and not only I swim, but Zill swims. Zill, come on. I didn't sleep much with the howler monkeys, did you? They were making a lot of noise at 1 a.m., almost 2 a.m., 3 a.m., 4 a.m. There were lots of noise.
It's been really nice here. I feel like there's a lot of reflection that's happening. There's a lot of things that are going well, but there's a lot of things not going at all how I want them to. So yeah, lately I've been fighting these feelings of like being unproductive in a like traditional sense, but I know that there's a lot that's happening and a lot that's changing. Yeah, there's just a lot going on mentally with me. I've been trying to talk to myself more, meditate more.
It's never been easy for me to talk about my emotions. For years, I honestly didn't know what I was feeling. Only recently have I allowed myself the opportunities to explore my own mind and past. Sharing some of these findings will certainly take acts of bravery, of which I currently don't have.
Zill, you're gonna stay here,
And we're coming back.
and we'll be right back.
Zill has always had a tough time being alone, but sometimes we simply can't bring him with us. The howling usually starts at about 30 minutes in, and just gets dramatic from there. Every once in a while, we set up a camera when we leave. Reviewing the footage is always a mix of funny and sad, as he teeters between utter abandonment and the anticipation of our return. But sure enough, we always return.
I know you're not gonna like it. I'm asking you to trust me, and I will do my best. It's okay.
It can
No,
get
no,
quite
Zill.
dramatic. This was actually one of our better nail cutting sessions. Most of the time, it's a little tough for him to make new friends. I guess you could say he's socially awkward, which makes it difficult to go for walks. Remate is full of potential friends, but he simply doesn't know how to interact. He's also not the most graceful dog in the world.
Slowly.
And it seems that around every corner is a new boo-boo.
Come here. Let me see the other side. You see that, Zill? Those monkeys are coming for you.
Luckily, his favorite pastimes are relaxing
You don't want to go in, Zill?
and getting loves.
What is today?
Today's my birthday. I'm turning 48. We are relaxing and doing art after we swim. And we've been starting to swim twice a day, every day. And then we're gonna have some local food, hopefully, and write maybe some. Because yesterday I was really into the writing of the project tab. So that's what we're doing. And I feel quite light today. Maybe I was anxious. Is my birthday coming? Maybe it brings some stuff. And I really need to get back into that nice energy. I had my first dip after more than half a year. Not the worst one, but it was a bit scary. So, right now I feel good. And I really like our place here. I wonder if it's not one of my favorites, you know? Like having the doors and everything open and feeling like you're outside even when you're actually inside is priceless. And that's our bathroom, where there can be some animals that runs into the gutter right there, often. And you've seen a tarantula right there. I haven't, and I'm glad about it. I'm glad that I haven't. And we have the noise of the birds. These little birds right here. This corner is just beautiful. Look at this jungle here. I wish I could go to the bathroom with the door always open. This is one of my favorite corner right here. The jungle leaves. Look at those right here. Washing my hands. This is the one time a day we see ourselves in that tiny little mirror. So in English, apparently it's called the suicide shower. I suppose the reason it's because of this electric stuff that come around the water and it's heated. So you can get a little bit of juice when you stupidly think you're gonna change the temperature. Like 20 minutes ago, there was a spider monkey around. They're really cute, they're curious, and they do things like that to look at us. With their little mask around their eyes. The howler monkeys are a bit less cute when they start making noise. One of the least pretty noises I've heard in nature. I don't know how to describe it. It makes as much noise as a tiger or a lion, but it's not that pretty. I need to change this battery. Hopefully we can take a trip to Mexico. This is our most life-saving device, this thing. We're heading to our dock. We have a few docks now, really. One of them I really like. It's a bit further away. And we swim there. The water is just incredible. This is our life in Remate, which I really enjoy. So we have been training Zill to swim. This is how we make the little guy swim with salchichas. Let me just put that back up. It's every day, you know? And so be careful. All right. Most of the time we're alone, but every now and then we'll meet some people, and they're all sweet here. ¿Eres de aquí? Sí. We're swimming today. Dilu. Come here. Today, huh? What is it? I have more. I have more. I got more. What is that, Chicha? Oh my goodness. I didn't say I had more. On that side of the lake, where we were in the water at sunset, and when a rainbow came up and the rain really started, it was magic, really magic. Been exercising in the water for the past 2 weeks. I think it was incredible because the first time I swam in here, I was attracted by the water. When I actually got in, I was just like feeling so good in here. But day by day, I went a bit further in what I could, in my capabilities going underwater. It's not easy for me to trust a new environment. Finding out that there were crocodiles was not fun, and it scared me very quickly, immediately. So I had to again start the whole process of trust with the lake. And then I started to do this process with myself, like reminding myself underwater that there are crocodiles in the lake. But it's still the knowledge of it. So every time the water changes, then it's like a readjustment. So I'm learning new behaviors with all my fears. I'm learning new behaviors with, I've seen a couple snakes in the past couple of weeks. And one I held, the other one I touched. And I didn't approach them with much fear as I would have before, not at all, actually. I've developed different level of confidence in different aspects of my life. In the past week, I've been depressed again. It's been a bit more difficult, and I tried to remember, but I have all these tools that I found, developed for myself. And then it became more and more difficult. So, yeah, that's it.
The rainy season is always testing. Storms press on the weak points. When the rain came to our cabana, walls of water held us apart from the rest of the world, as it forced us into silence. There was no escaping it. We were left to choose between quiet activity or turning inward in contemplation. Under the hammering rain, surrounded by trees and flowers, it becomes clear. Release, not resistance, restores balance.
It's beautiful. It feels much better because the temperature goes down very quickly with the rain. Not that it stays like that very quickly. If the rain stops abruptly, then it gets worse because the sun is actually drying the little bit of rain, and it creates a sauna effect, or a hammam effect. So it's like all the more humid. But if it rains long enough, then we have a break in the heat, and that feels amazing. Like right now, it feels amazing. And also today, I had a dip yesterday, a big dip. I was very angry, and I had a very hard time to manage this anger. Today is actually a good day. Usually, it's really difficult after one of those dips. I feel it didn't happen a bad thing like that in a long time.
With each rain, the garden transformed into a celebration. Leaves shone with new life. The air itself felt rinsed clean. By the time the garden grew still, I felt that stillness within me too.
Se le busca el que está así, que está así. Este hace como unos 30 años, Antes no tenía estufa, solo aquí, pero mis ollas no estaban ahumadas porque siempre le mantenemos esto tapado. Y tiene su chimenea para que no se ahuman las ollas.
Where's the Glen?
That one.
The Glen's gonna bring both his pot too. Okay. Gracias, muchas gracias, Vilma.
One early morning at the dock, I joined the Qigong class, led by a Swiss expat, Susan. She invited me for a healing treatment at her house in the mountains.
I always wanted to live far out, but I'm not used to live in the jungle. And for the moment we're sleeping in here. You know, we have these mattresses, but we took them out because Martin was building with his Legos, and so he took the whole space. And the tools and the clothes and everything.
I wasn't sure what to expect. A tiny woman from Switzerland, living off-grid in the middle of the Guatemalan jungle.
I was not expecting this at all. I love mountains, I love snow, I love cold. Wow. And it was interesting, it happened by itself. I did not decide it with my mind. Life said, hey, you have to go there. And I was like, no way, I will not live in the jungle. No, that's not for me. Well, it's not I choose, it's life is choosing for me.
Susan welcomed us to her home, like it was the most natural thing in the world. There was such an ease in how she evolved in this environment, so different from her native land.
The thing here is the Barba Maria, no?
Baffled, I followed her barefooted steps into the thick jungle.
This is, I don't know, 1,500, 2,000 years old, you know, and it feels so good. It
Really?
go down there and I drink my cacao. It's so cute because the bats, they're there, you can see them how they clean themselves and they stretch their wings and oh, it's so cute.
A churtun is basically an ancient Mayan refrigerator, a hole in the ground sealed with limestone, designed to store water or food. That moment said so much about her simplicity, her trust in life, living without fear, living every moment in connection with the jungle. Susan lives a relatively self-sufficient life, getting what she needs from the land. There was something grounding in all of it. We shared stories about our journeys and of our upbringing.
We did not miss affection and all this, good food, a warm place.
We spoke in great detail about her connection to nature, about listening to the ways that life speaks. Life hasn't been easy for Susan. She struggled through much of it with a medical condition involving her hips.
20 years old.
And
what
they
happened?
wanted to put me artificial hips.
And I refused it and I could heal it. How long did it take you to heal? After 2 years in this Tai Chi and Qigong, and I was going for x-rays, and the doctors say this is not possible. That the articulation that you are walking on, that is completely destroyed, can come back. But it can. Let's make a little cacao. Do you need help with anything?
Yeah.
Mesoamerica is the birthplace of what we now know as chocolate. In ancient times, the cocoa beans were extracted and fermented, roasted over an open fire,
The smell is now amazing.
deshelled, ground into a fine paste, added to boiling water, and consumed as a drink. In keeping with the ancient traditions, the process is sacred, slow, intentional. A ceremonial drink from this very land, rich, bitter, ancient.
It smells so good. So you can ask the cacao that he helps you and he shows you. Or so if you want, I can make the voice of the cacao if you would like. So he says, listen to the fire, to the sound, get out of your mind. Say yes to the life that you have right now. Open up for what's coming.
As the night led on, I began to feel feverish. The lightest sprinkle of rain formed in the air, and I could feel each drop on my skin, like needles of ice. I began feeling restless.
So feel where you are right now. The earth, the noise of the jungle. You're connecting very much with sounds? Yes. It's like boom, the whole body is relaxing.
I wasn't sure what was happening, but something was starting to unravel. By the end of the session, I could barely keep my body upright.
And hot, yeah. You would need some Santa Maria. You know Santa Maria? No, I don't. It's like an herb? It's a plant, yeah. And I take it as tea? You can take it, you will take it tonight. There is so much that wants to come out. It needs to get out. Yeah.
By morning, it was clear. I was sick with dengue fever.
Body is burning. It's like needles everywhere. It's unbearable. I'm so tired. I'm so exhausted.
Greetings from Puerto Rico.
We hope you enjoyed this episode. The second part of this film will be released soon.
But keep watching until the end for the trailer. Right now we're at my home, working on our films and podcasts as we prepare for the next leg of the journey.
This time, we will be on bicycles, from Nicaragua to Argentina.
Before we leave, we'll give you an update on the journey so far, and what life has been like returning to Puerto Rico after 3 years on the road.
It's been more than a year since we have published a long film. If you liked it and want to help us spread the word, like, share, and subscribe.
It takes months of hard work to complete one of these films, and we would love to see them reach more people.
If you feel moved to support our project, please check out our campaigns on Patreon or on GoFundMe. See you in a few weeks for the second part of The Jungle Inside. Adios.
Adios.
Oh, that was so good. Did you see what he did? He did that. That's perfect. That's perfect. We couldn't plan better.
That's the one. That's the one. No other one. Right, Zilu?
4 days after I fell sick, the war in Israel began. So since then it's been between sickness and sadness. The country is literally paralyzed with roadblocks, and many speak of a coup d'etat. There was no gas, no vegetables, and there was a whole week without vegetables at all.
Basically me battling myself. It's taken almost 40 years of life to figure out that I'm doing that and the ways that I'm doing that. And it distracts me from the world around me.
I'm very scared right now. I'm fearing they're coming down.
We will be all right.
You see? I'm really restricted by my fears. I have a lot of worries and concerns before I start enjoying.
The oddness yet the familiarity of it. It seems like so many sites we've seen, we get to this community and they just
Don't give it care.
they let you be.
Well, I had an idea that I was signing up for that. The procession. I did it because it's a new era. I want it to be a new era. Health. Just to be.
¡Sorpresa! ¿Qué me trae mi papá? Y mi
Oh my God! Muchas gracias.
Dile adiós con la mano.
She said, I wanted to tell you that you've been a great blessing for me. And we are ready to hit the road after 2 months. It's a great day when people just put a mirror in front of you and all that you can see is nice things. It feels good.